Good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody to the November 26th Planning Commission meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order, and I ask Dr. McLeod if he would for a word of prayer.
Let's pray. Lord God, thank you for this day. Thank you for loving us, for caring for us, Lord. Thank you for this group of people that are gathered together to make decisions, Lord, about other people, Lord, and other things in this county. Lord, I pray that you bless this time and just give us clear minds and clear wisdom, Lord, about the decisions that we'll make. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right, approval of old minutes.
Make a motion to approve. Well, there are no old minutes.
Any old minutes?
I make a motion.
Second. Steve made a motion, Brad seconded that motion. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. And new considerations.
Old
Yes,
business. Any old business?
We don't have any old business.
I don't have any.
We're good on old
We
business.
do have some new considerations.
Right, we do have some new considerations.
All right. First up, we have Scott Sanders is seeking a conditional use permit to construct a 2,300 square foot wood framed home with a metal exterior at 216 Kitty Hawk Circle. This is a 3.27 acre parcel that is zoned RE1, which doesn't allow metal exterior outright. This is aerial view of the property. And this is an example of what the structure will look like. This is a view of the property and surrounding properties.
Okay.
Next up, we have Kevin Johnson, seeking to rezone 4.2 acres from RE1 to C2. Mr. Johnson is proposing a future development of a climate-controlled self-storage facility. If approved, he will come back through Planning Commission for site plan architectural review. This is an aerial view of the property. And this is the property with surrounding property pictures.
Okay.
Next, we have Juan Pablo Munoz, seeking a conditional use permit to operate a short-term rental at 411 Pelican Way. The property is zoned R1B and is part of the Barnett Bend 2 subdivision. It's an aerial view of the property. It's a picture of the property and surrounding properties.
Alrighty.
All right, next, Joseph Lindsay is seeking a conditional use permit to construct an 1,800 square foot brick accessory dwelling unit for his parents at 944 Trickenbridge Road. This is a 5 acre parcel that is zoned R1, which allows for accessory dwelling units by conditional use permit. The accessory dwelling unit will be within 50 feet of the main structure of the property. There's a picture of the property and surrounding properties. Next, we have Kenneth Kirsch seeking a conditional use permit to place a manufactured home behind his sister's manufactured home on family property at 845 Trickenbridge Road. This is a 1.3 acre parcel that is zoned RE1, which allows manufactured homes as a hardship. This is an aerial view of the property. This is a site plan submitted to our office alongside an aerial view of where he is proposing the manufactured home to be placed. Mr. Kirsch says he is disabled and wants to be closer to his sister, who is also disabled. He would also like to use his sister's existing driveway for ingress egress to his home. He has been approved by the health department to place a second septic system on the property and has provided a copy of his medical history.
I got a question on that. All right, so the health department's approved, and this is a total of 1.3 acres, or,
Let's see, this is 1.34 acres.
and so there's gonna be two septic systems on this 1.3
Yes, sir.
acres.
Yes, sir. The health department has approved the second one.
Well, what do we go by, whatever the health department, because some people are confused that we're saying 2 acre minimum
Yes.
versus whatever the health department.
Per our zoning, per the RE1 zoning, 1 acre minimums for health department, but you still have to get approval. You still have to get health department approval even if you have 1 acre. And until they get that approval, we cannot move forward.
Okay.
The problem is they don't work.
Yeah.
You get these engineered systems, they just blow out, your yard, because what they do, they lay those lines, they're like soaker hoses. And I know,
Well,
'cause I
right
had
now,
one.
you got one house already got a septic
Right.
system on there,
Right.
and you adding another one with another septic system.
That one frame. Is there 3?
There's a parcel in front of this one, so this parcel would be behind. This is family here, the road, the street, Triple Bridge is here. And this is family on a separate parcel, and this parcel is where his sister is, and he would like to put his house behind.
So there's gonna be 3 houses on,
No,
No.
no, sir.
Okay.
2 houses, that's a parcel to accept, let's see, we've got a picture of that.
That
If you
front
see, the one in the front here
Yeah,
is where
yeah.
the house is,
I
that's a
see it
separate
now.
parcel. That would be 2 on this parcel.
And there's nothing on that parcel behind it there?
No, sir.
Is that family behind it?
I think this is all family land.
So they could get a sewer easement,
I mean, as far as,
their runoff?
because
yeah,
it's gonna be runoff,
they've been
going to
approved.
somebody's property.
the health department evaluated and said it would work. They would allow it.
So on those, you don't get the above spray, on those small.
Yeah, but I think they have additional, that they're putting the treatment plant on is 1 acre, a little over 1 acre. That's what I'm getting at
But
for
it's-
that
But
system.
it's already 2.
No, it's just
additional-
one on that 1 acre right now, his sister.
As of right now, there's 1 septic system on this parcel.
See, it's one currently now, but they're adding another one, plus
So
another mobile home.
it's gonna be a spray field that they're proposed, that the health department approved.
A spray field on less than an acre.
Well, it's 1.34, and they would have 2 on that 1.34 acres. 2 spray, well, I don't know what the existing home has, I don't know how long it's been there, but this new one would be a spray field.
Guarantee the old ones just runs out of there.
Septic tank, so.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're
Okay.
just reviewing right now.
Okay, thank you.
I would suggest though they get a sewer easement right now for the property behind them, just for future to help protect themselves.
And this is a picture of the property and surrounding properties.
Okay.
Next, we have Juan Sebastian Morales is seeking a conditional use permit to operate a granite countertop fabrication and sales shop on Highway 471. This is a 1.89 acre parcel that is zoned RE1. This is an aerial view of the property. The proposed facility will employ 3 workers and provide adequate off-street parking for both employees and customers. The shop will be primarily used for cutting, polishing, and assembling granite countertops with a small showroom display area for customers. Mr. Morales is seeking approval before proceeding with site plan architectural review approval.
I don't think there's any reason to set it. I've talked with the neighbors, and they don't want the grinding, the noise, they don't want the traffic.
Is sewer there? Or is it, would it have to be some health department There's not city sewer
This
out
will be
there.
built apart.
Where is that? Where is that?
There's just a ton of water that leaves in
Right next to Rankin County.
Oh, right, okay, yep, I'm following you, yep. It's pretty steep in there too.
Yep.
Yep, okay.
Okay. Move on to the next one. Um, Joe McGee Construction Company, Inc. is seeking a conditional use permit to mine approximately 40 acres of a 103-acre parcel on Highway 43 South. The property is zoned A2. This is an aerial view of the property. And this is a map showing the mine boundary and ingress egress. It's a picture of the property and surrounding properties.
He ain't be too happy.
Next, we have Lance Stevens and Robert Graham Jr. They're seeking a conditional use permit to operate a short-term rental at 154 Lakeshore Road. The property consists of approximately 700 square foot cabin located on Lake Pelahatchie. The owners intended to use the cabin as a secondary residence for themselves and their families, and to occasionally offer it as a short-term rental. And this is an aerial view of the property. This is a picture of the property and surrounding properties.
Good. We'll set it.
At this time, we need to set those public hearings.
I make a motion, we set them,
I make a motion to set number one.
with the exception of one.
Let's move
Number
ahead and do
six.
number one first by itself. since
I make a motion to set number one, the Sanders conditional use permit for December the 1st.
Second.
Brad made a motion, Dr. McLeod seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Now I make a motion to set 2 through 8 for December the 15th.
Well, we need to take out 6.
6, I'm sorry.
Correct.
I'll revise that. I'll make a motion to set 2, 3, 4, and 5, 7, and 8 for December the 15th.
Second.
Brad made a motion to set 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 8 for December the 15th. Dr. McLeod seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Next up, we have site plan architectural review. We have Telus Self-Storage. They are proposing to place 7 pole barns for boat storage at 4087 Highway 43 North. This is a 4.21 acre parcel that is zoned industrial. This is an aerial view of the property. This is the site plan. 3 of the buildings will be 40 by 108 square feet, or 40 by 108 feet. 2 will be 35 by 108, and the final 2 will be 30 by 120. There will be no water or sewer lines added to this project. It's open air pole barns. This is an example of what the structure will look like.
Where is this?
Storage.
It's north of, 43. It's
Harper
between
Gate.
43 and, Goshen Springs exit, and,
On 25?
yes.
Well, it says 4087 Highway 43
Yeah, it
North.
says
It's off Highway
43.
43 by
Yeah, it's
Harbor
on
Gate.
43.
By Harbor
but it's
Gate, okay.
North. Isn't it north of Goshen Springs and
It's going
south
toward,
43?
It's north of 471.
Yeah, out, go heading toward, Tommy's Trading Post, right before you get there on the left,
Okay.
on our
Okay,
side.
got,
Right.
Okay, got it, yep. Okay,
Any questions?
Need a motion.
How big is it that they're doing?
They're doing seven. There's seven. Tim has reviewed their hydraulic calculations, grading and drainage. It's been approved. But there's seven buildings, 35 by, or 40 by 108. Two will be 35 by 108, and the final two will be 30 by 120.
So they're all pole barns?
Yes, sir. Open air pole barns. You can see them there, up next to the existing structures, and they still have plenty of parking in that area.
Do y'all have any questions for Mr. Thomas?
I don't, I think there's a need to be able to put boats in storage and not in the streets.
All right, would you wanna make a
Motion
motion?
to approve.
I second that motion. Steve made a motion. I second that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, nuisance property.
Our nuisance property hearing is on Charles Darren and Jennifer Ross and Angela Marion Dennis. It's located at 1188A Chicken Bridge Road. We'll open that public hearing and Brian will demonstrate with photos.
We received a complaint on July the 28th for inoperable vehicles and accumulation of rubbish and garbage. These are the pictures that were taken on the day of the complaint. And these are the pictures that were taken yesterday. Letters were received, but we've had no contact, or Kobe has had no contact with the owner on this property.
Come on up, sir.
If you would, just state your name and address for the record.
Yes, sir. My name's Charles Darren Ross. I own 1188 Trickle Bridge Road.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. I would like to say for the record, this was the first letter I got, and I just received it Friday.
okay.
But as soon as I got it, I came here. I got it Friday of last week.
All right.
I'm
We
happy to
know our
address
mail
anything.
service is spot on now.
But it's not, y'all,
I'm
it's,
kidding, I'm joking.
I can explain to you the problem. I have 1188A. My neighbor is 1188. My house was originally the in-laws to their house.
Yeah.
My mail is bad about going to them instead of me, or just not ending up where it's supposed to at all. It's not it's just a my mail carrier thing, and it's been an ongoing issue for a few years with them.
Yeah.
Because of the A, it just throws them off because my property's further down.
Yeah.
All right, so all of that
All
right
of it
there.
runs, except for that one truck right there, and all of it now is under a car cover, as you've probably seen the most recent picture. The two trucks are actually under a car cover. Sorry. Well, you can't see them in that picture, but that black truck right there runs and drives perfect. It's my mother's. It's registered, insured. Everything works like it's supposed to. She didn't have room at her property, so I use it out here because it gives me a vehicle to drive when I need access to a truck. The little yellow Ford Ranger is actually my 14-year-old son's truck. It's his first vehicle, and we're fixing it up together. It's his first car. And that Toyota Highlander is what I use. I have two kids, so that's what I actually haul them around in. The other two vehicles that are on the property is a 73 Ford Maverick and a 1982 Chevy C10. The Maverick is a long-term project. It is under a car cover, but it does run and drive. It's just honestly not what I would consider safe on the street. But it does have a tag, and it is running and driving if they needed me to crank it up and show them it moves. The C10 is not. I inherited it from my grandfather, and I haven't gotten to it yet. It's one of those I hope for long-term projects. But I guess since this picture's taken place, it's under a car cover as well as the Maverick. The only thing that's not under a car cover is the three vehicles at the front we use every day or on a regular basis.
How much land do you have?
2.2 acres.
And what's the zoning on that? Is it, of course, that don't really matter, but I mean,
Probably RE1A or something like that.
I have no clue.
Probably a state lot, at least.
that's not that big a deal, Cody.
What's the
RE1.
surrounding area look like right there?
Field, houses out from the road.
All right, let's
Directly.
watch it. Let's just maintain, watch, and
So you addressed the other stuff?
Yes, sir, I didn't know this was
debris and
happening, I
everything?
cleaned it all up beforehand, cause I didn't even, like I said, I just got this letter Friday, I'd already been cleaning up the property. I went through a career transition that caused me to get about a couple months behind, honestly.
Yeah.
I got two boys that like to run amok, and my yard was a mess, completely, gonna be honest about that, and I was.
We don't ride around looking for this. People
I can
call-
explain why you probably got a call on it as well. Like I said, I have two boys, teenagers, 16-year-old and 14 now as well. They like to ride four-wheelers, dirt bikes, mini bikes around on my property safely. Got a lady across the street, she's older and she doesn't like the noise.
Well,
But
just keep
we're
that
very
in the back of your
respectful.
mind going forward, so you don't have to come on in here again.
We're
you know?
very respectful with the time. They're not allowed to touch it before like 9, 10 o'clock on a Saturday. As soon as it gets close to dark, they're not allowed to touch anything that makes noise. But I get that it bothers her from the noise.
Right. All right.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll just keep an eye on
We're
it
not gonna
and
get-
like I
take
say,
any action.
it looks like you're making effort to,
Yes.
you know, try to. Yeah.
All right, appreciate you.
Thank
That's
you.
it.
Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Maisel?
That's it?
Okay. I guess, need to make a motion to adjourn, January 29th, be our next meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Brad made a motion, Steve seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Now I'd like to call to order our Board of Supervisors Planning Commission meeting. First up, public comments. We have Miss Lakin Collier. She here? Okay, would you like to step up? And
State your name.
My husband also has a separate public comment afterwards, is that okay?
Yes.
Mr. Sorensen.
Sure.
Hi, good morning. My name is Lakin, and I'd like to talk to you about some concerns I and others are having regarding a bio data center planned to be built in our community.
Ms. Carr, can you give us your address?
Sure, 90 Long Meadow Road,
Okay.
Brandon, Mississippi. That's actually my first paragraph, so
All right.
sorry. But first I want to tell you that my husband and I own a house in Cross Gates in Brandon where we both live with our almost 3-year-old son. We're both from Mississippi and our families are both from Mississippi. We're only about 3 streets over from where my husband's parents lived and raised him. We both work full-time as attorneys, so we both had to take off work to be here to speak with you. I tell you this because I want you to understand how important this topic is to me and how important it is to my family. I'm not here to tell you to stop the construction point blank. I think we can all agree that the annual property tax revenue the center is estimated to make is obviously welcome and that we could put that money to good use. But I think it's important to discuss how data centers in particular pose very specific and significant risks, unlike almost any other type of industry. Those risks need to be discussed now before any construction plans become finalized, and we, like many other affected communities across this country, are stuck with those results. There are mainly 2 valid concerns I've heard from members of the community. One, that data centers will result in an increase in utility costs to Rankin residents, and 2, that data centers' ongoing operations can result in air and water pollution. Today, given our time constraints, I'd like to just talk about that first concern. According to Harvard Law today, there are 2 ways that data centers raise rates for everyone. First, utility providers have to expand their existing infrastructure to accommodate the massive increase in demand that data centers create. The cost of those expansions are then divided and passed on to all of their customers. Data centers often have a higher level of utility use than the entire surrounding communities combined. I've spoken to the Brandon Mayor's office about the water supply, and I've spoken to Energy about their electric supply. Coincidentally, both of those utility suppliers told me that they are now planning to update and expand their infrastructure. I find it an awfully large coincidence that they're planning these expansions at the same time a data center is coming to Rankin, and I don't want my family and my neighbors' families to subsidize those projects for the benefit of a multi-million-dollar company.
Did Energy say that your prices was gonna go up when you spoke with them?
They would
Or
not
the-
tell me. I spoke to Energy, I spoke to Brandon Water, and I do discuss that.
Well, from our
Um,
understanding, they're not going up. so.
From my understanding, they were even unable to tell me how much energy and water that the data center would even require to operate, and I don't understand how they could be able to answer that question without knowing that fundamental question, the answer to
Right.
that fundamental question.
Okay.
So, to continue, secondly, because data centers increase the demand for water and electric utilities without increasing the supply, the prices are raised. This is especially true when multiple data centers are placed relatively close together, as this causes a lot of strain on the grid, especially in areas that experience significant heat waves like Mississippi. With data centers being proposed for Rankin, Madison, and Meridian, it seems that our grid would face significant strain, especially during heat waves and freezes. Some utility companies also have faced problem with how to even charge data centers using their normal methods. Utility companies often charge different rates for different times of the day because the average utility customer's use fluctuates throughout the day. Data centers, however, use the same astronomically high rate of energy consumption throughout the entire day. Again, I'm coming to you for reassurances that the Rankin taxpayer isn't going to see an increase in their utility bills because of the data center. Lastly, I have a third concern about how data centers might result in higher utility costs that was not discussed by Harvard today because it's an issue unique to Mississippi. The Mississippi legislature passed Senate Bill 227, which was amended to, quote, exempt from sales taxation the sale of certain utilities to data centers. Who or how will we be making up that lost tax revenue? If the water company is owned by the county and or the city, are they just writing off those taxes? Will that money need to be made up some other way? And from where? How does that work with energy, a private company? Is
What
energy,
bill was that? I was trying to write,
I'm
two
sorry.
what? What was that, two what?
Senate Bill 227.
227.
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Will that money need to be, so for the private company, is Entergy going to be responsible for paying taxes on their end for the sales to the data center? And if so, how can you guarantee us that a private company won't then pass those costs on to the everyday consumer? Communities in Northern Virginia, Ohio, Oregon, New Jersey, Georgia, and many others have seen dramatic increases in their utility costs after data centers were built in their areas. There are stories after stories of people's utility bills skyrocketing by sometimes hundreds of dollars after the data centers are built nearby. I've spoken to the mayor's office, Brandon Water and Public Works, Rankin First, and Entergy. I've asked every single one of them the question of whether the data center's construction operation will raise costs for the community. To date, not a single one of them could provide me with a definitive answer. Many seemed not able to answer that question, and more alarmingly, others seemed like they didn't want to. During these calls, it became clear that although the construction has already been greenlit, no one even knows how much energy the data center will require to operate. If we don't know the answer to that basic question, how are we supposed to know if Entergy or Water and Public Works has the existing infrastructure to accommodate them? How do we know if these costs, at least in part, will be passed on to average Rankin citizens like they were in Virginia, Ohio, Oregon, New Jersey, Georgia, and many others? I doubt their Board of Supervisors planned on that for their people. I don't want Rankin to be like these other communities and be surprised by the negative effects when it's already too late to do anything. And if people get bills that are 5, 10, 50 times higher than normal, they're going to blame you for not guaranteeing we got a better deal. So I beg you to go above and beyond in performing your due diligence on this now so Rankin doesn't end up like these other places all across the country, and you don't end up with this room packed with angry families that can't afford to subsidize a multi-million-dollar company. I'm not here to tell you to just stop the construction. I'm here to say that people want a real guarantee that this isn't going to hurt us. We don't want energy prices raised, and we don't want this to result in air or water pollution where our kids play. If you can't guarantee that, and only if you can't guarantee that, then I'm asking you to stop the construction until or if you honestly, undeniably can. And our petition begging you for those two guarantees has over 1,020 signatures as of yesterday. People are concerned, and their concerns are valid. We're really relying on you to protect us from the risk that comes with these new data centers. So can you provide those guarantees and when? Thank
Okay.
you for your time.
Thank you.
And thank you for listening.
All right.
Thank you.
And my husband would also like to come up and read some of the quotes from people who have signed our petition and whose voices, so their voices can be heard here today.
Okay, Zane, just to remind, we have 3 minutes. Yeah, I know, but we let you go over 3 minutes, so I just reminded him you know, you have 3 minutes.
I can keep it under 3 minutes.
All right.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Nathan Rester. My wife and I started this petition. She's the better public speaker, so I'll let her, we decided she would take a point on this. But I'm just gonna read some of the comments here from the petition. Like my wife said, it has over 1,000 signatures. And some people have left comments just expressing their concerns. One of them, Clyde from Brandon. What happened to residents in Georgia when the data center was built there is an absolute travesty. I do not want this data center anywhere near our community. There are people that are already hurting in Brandon. And then another one, building this data center will harm Mississippians. Water and air pollution, higher energy costs are not what we need. And there are tons and tons of comments in here, people expressing their concerns, their worries, their fears about this. And Avio, it is a data company, but one of the things they specialize in is AI, which I don't know a lot about AI. I know you can generate a picture of me shaking hands with the president. That doesn't make it so. This technology scares people. It eats up a lot of energy. It eats up a lot of power, and it sucks up way more of our energy and puts way more strain on our grid than any other type of process. So when people are afraid of this, it's not because they're afraid of, oh, it's just a regular data center. It's because of these AI data centers in particular have a history. It's a short history, but a history of driving costs up and affecting the local community. I'm thinking back to, we had Halloween a couple weeks ago. We took my kid out for trick-or-treating. It was his first time trick-or-treating. He dressed up like a dog. I'm looking around, I'm seeing, babies dressed as strawberries, kids dressed as skeletons. You got Captain Americas and Jedis. And I thought about how much I loved my community and how much I loved living in Cross Gates and living there with all these young families, with these people who are starting their lives. And I want nothing but the best for them, which means that they can continue to afford to live there, because the higher the utility costs go, the more it squeezes the community. There have been a rise in foreclosures all over the state of Mississippi. I know this because I work in real estate. People are struggling right now still with the effects of the pandemic, with the effects of inflation, which is still rampant. People just want guarantees and reassurances that their financials will be taken care of and that they won't have any undue hardship pressed upon them by this data center. I'm sure I've gone over the 3 minutes by now, but you're nodding. I didn't.
All right,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, all right.
Thank
Well,
you.
I'm gonna give you your time back. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
y'all.
y'all.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Keith Hicks.
The first item here is, as you're aware, we've completed all of our ARPA projects, the construction side of things. What we're doing today is we're starting to get reimbursements back. We took out a line of credit to finish the jobs, so we're asking for approval to make payments on that line of credit with Community Bank in order to issue those checks as the money comes in.
Motion to approve.
Steve made a motion, Brad second that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
The next item is authority to execute a master agreement. This is between Hart and her Civic and Rankin County, and this is for the purchase of our new election equipment. You should have a copy of the quote behind you, and this gives me authority to execute that document. This is to ensure we get our equipment.
So do we get everything, all the numbers that
got
we
the num-
needed?
Yeah,
We dropped some machines.
No, I think we picked up some and the
I think-
price went down.
Yeah, we went back through with the election commission and actually added a few of the ballot on demands to make sure we had enough. Because our first election we have next year is the big election,
Yeah.
and we want to make sure we have everything. We did drop from what we currently have, some of the scanners and such, but the election commission feels certain this is what we need.
So what was the thinking of getting it out, paying it out of the bond, rather than paying it out the bank account?
Well, we can do either. It was just, the money was there and they qualified for it.
Yeah,
We have some election funds that we can use,
yeah.
that we get from the state. We can,
I know that's not gonna come close to covering it. I don't know, I preferably would rather keep the bond number down as low as possible.
That's right.
Yep, me too.
So, y'all be good just taking it out of the bank,
Yep.
general fund?
The key sees no issues in there on far as.
absolutely not.
I make a motion to approve under those conditions.
I second that motion. Jay made a motion, I second the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
We have our, you have your agenda for Monday. If there's any questions, I have no additional business and I have no need for executive session.
Look at you, man.
No,
We need
man.
to hire you as our attorney.
All right. So I need a motion to adjourn.
Oh, that's for Monday.
Second.
Never mind. Sorry.
I'll make a
Brad
motion to
made a-
adjourn and
Brad made a motion to adjourn. Dr. McLeod seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
thank you.
Everybody
Everybody have a
safe-
happy Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Yeah.